What is going down here today on a new video? We're going to talk about what camera I used to use and the camera that replaced it and the cameras that I use.
What I tell you for the culture!
This is the camera that I used to use, VX2000. It's not the VX1000, it's the upgraded version. So if you're in the market of looking for this type of recording device, I would recommend getting the 2000 other than the 1000 because it's a little more crisper than the 1000. It's not all weird looking. This is a camera that I used to use when I was skateboarding and filming. This was a top-of-the-line camera back in the day. And the reason why it was a top-of-the-line camera back in the day because it was a 3C CD chip camera. And what that means is there's a red chip, a blue chip, and a green chip. So the colors on this one are 10 times better than the 1000.
This is my opinion.
Now it's just on my shelf in my bedroom as an ornament because this is obsolete now. It's 2019, almost 2 months away from 2020. Here is the camera that I use now instead of the VX. It's a Canon HFG20. Right now I just have this wide angle lens on it because I use this too for shooting some videos here on YouTube, but we mostly use it for skateboarding. So when I shoot, mostly I like a wider angle. So right now you're on fisheye lens, so I can sit closer to the camera. Wide angle lens on here so I can get the camera closer, so I don't have to hold it so far away from my face to get when I'm holding it on a tripod. I don't have to hold it so far away from my face to get my whole face. I can just hold it right here. Right now you're sitting on a GorillaPod on my digital camera that I also shoot photos and video with. But we're talking about this camera and why I got this camera to replace the VX. Well, the first reason why I got this camera to replace the VX, it has 58mm threads on here. So I didn't have to go out and buy a whole new lens setup, because that's the one thing that I didn't want to do, is buy a whole bunch of new lenses. Fisheye depth lens. Basically, that's what if you're in the market looking for a really wide angle lens, it's called a depth lens. You can get real close to people. I mostly, like I was saying, mainly use this camera for skateboarding, and that's what I like using it for. But the cool thing is that it's a screw-on instead of a clip-on. And yes, I used to have a clip-on one, and I didn't want to get a clip-on one for this because I already had this lens and I wanted to rock with what I already had. So basically you screw this on just like so, and I modified this lens. So this is actually the Mark II glass in here. So if you know about the VX models, you get the real big depth lens, the MK1 or the MK2. This is the MK2 lens, just in a different housing, because the housing that was on the MK2 was a clip-on. Actually, no, it was a lock-on. You screwed it and you locked it on to your VX. So I had this is a Optica like lens housing, so I took it apart and I fixed it so it fits right in there. The only thing that I have to do is take it apart one more time and clean the inside, because there's something like a weird speck on my lens. You ask yourself, there's no handle on top. I don't hold it like this when I film skateboarding. That's weird. So I got $11 cam caddy on Amazon, or I don't even remember where I got this, Amazon or eBay or whatever. 11 bucks, and it's pretty good because it has a up top for the microphone, so, and it screws right on and it works fabulous. If you're in the market and you like to skateboard and you want to keep on a budget, I bought this used. This is the second one that I had of this camera. The first one got stolen out of my car when I walked into my house for 5 minutes and I walked back out and my shit got jacked. And I use the Rode video microphone, and this works with all my setups. I could even plug this into the VX and use it on the VX, but I mostly use it on this camera. So the cool thing about this camera is it has good push in, push out. That's why I like using this for, like, if I made a commercial for cars, but I used the VX. If I was using this for a music video shoot, like anything, like, it's a good zoom in, zoom out because it has a rocker on top. Most DSLR cameras, you don't have a rocker on top because it's the main focus is to take pictures and video. This is a straight up just a video camera. The main focus on this is to take video, and it has a cinema button on the side. I mostly use it for manual, but the cinema, if you put it on there, it shoots all in 24 frames per second and it looks pretty buttery if you want to get that cinematic feel for something. But in my last video I was saying I don't usually shoot in cinematic, but like if I was doing a music video, I shoot in 24 frames, give it that cinematic feel. And the one complaint that I have about this camera is because on the VX we have a handle, we have a button on the side. This one don't have a button on the side, it just has a button on the back. I have 4 big batteries like this, so if you're gonna get a camera like this, I wouldn't use a stock battery. And here's another reason why this camera is sick and it's good for skateboarding, because, or any type of production. So say you're shooting something and somebody brings their SD card and they want you to use their card, you can use 2 cards. So you can record on an A slot and a B slot. So you can put 2 cards in here and shoot, and then give 1 card to whoever and have it edit their way, and then you can take it back to your house and edit your way, or to your studio, or wherever you do your work at. This is a tripod head gimbal. There's no moving parts. The only moving part is this back and forth, so you can get your camera wherever you want it. You can rock it back and forth. You can put it on there and stabilize it so it's completely stable, and this works very, very well. It has this base plate on there, so you put this on the bottom of your camera, you screw it where the tripod would go, and you put it on here. And I use it with, I'm not going to take this off because I'd have to get some pliers, but I use it with a monopod with feet, and with this on top like this, with that, yeah, it's heavy, but I can get that really, you know, clean shots with it. And if I need to get even closer shots and like even like different moves, I use this GoPro. Nobody knows what you're shooting with. Like I said in this my other video, if you're subscribed to the channel, you go watch. It doesn't matter what cameras you use. I forget what I named the video, but it's over there. But this is what I was talking about in that video when I said I had a tripod head gimbal. It's no electronics involved, it's all manual, so it works out really well. I like it. I use it from time to time, but I mostly just use it if I'm doing other things. I've used it on myself holding it, but I think I used it this summer when I had somebody, well, it was my son, just follow me around with the camera, with the tripod. So, stable all day long. I hope this video helped you out and showed you why I don't use a VX anymore and I went fully HD. I've been HD for a long time, but the gimbal, I hope that helped you out, because the gimbal head is not that expensive. It's about, how much was it? It was about $75, and then I already have that tripod, so I use it like that. It's a different way of using a gimbal, and it's just different altogether. But who wants to be normal and who wants to have the same stuff? You know, people do things differently and get the same results. So I want to say thanks for watching, and here in the future I'm going to be doing videos like this soon, because I'm making this back wall right here is going to be my camera wall. I'm going to get a couple of shelves back here so all my camera equipment can be back here, because my camera equipment takes over the whole house sometimes. My camera gear is everywhere. It's getting in my way. It's getting into everybody's way. And this is the way I need is a shelf with some hooks, because I have like 2 backpacks that I use. I have my main skate bag that I take with me when I go skateboarding, and I have my camera bag that holds all this camera gear. See all this camera gear? I even have more than just this. This is what I was just showing you on what I used to use. So again, I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And we're out here sometimes 3 days a week, sometimes 2. Mostly 2 days a week until January sometime. So again, I want to say thank you for watching. And that's all I have for today. Huh?
Why are you like this?